My name is Gail Simmons, and I am the Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs. I'd like to welcome you to Hofstra University and to these commencement exercises. To begin, it is my great pleasure to introduce the Reverend Joyce P. Brandon Duggar, who is a member of the University Board of Chaplains at Hofstra's Interfaith Center, to deliver the invocation.
Good morning. Let us pray. God, thank you for this day. We've traveled this road. We're finally here. Bless the students now as they become graduates of Hofstra. Give them peace, happiness, employment, and keep them safe in your arms. Bless their families, faculty, and all that has gathered this morning as they go into this world and serve and represent Hofstra and their family. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Duggar. Now I'm proud to introduce two members of the class of 2016, Alex Lavoie, who will sing the national anthem, and Robert Rosen, who will sing the university alma mater.
With wonder and hearts are full of pride, there stands our alma mater, so radiant a shine, nurturing thy scholars like parents raise their young. Dear Hofstra, we are grateful, and thus we thank thee for inspiring us and guiding us through all the great unknown. Oh, hail the blue and gold. Unrivaled motivation, invaluable and true, selfless with thy knowledge and vision to pursue. Through all the lands we journey, thou shalt remain our home. Dear Hofstra, we are grateful, and thus we thank thee for inspiring us and guiding us through all the great unknown. Oh, hail the blue and gold.
Thank you both. Will everyone please be seated? I'm pleased to make some very special introductions today, beginning with the university trustees present. Trustee Martin B. Greenberg, Trustee Janice M. Meyer, and Trustee Donald Schaefer. I am also pleased to introduce our deans, Herman A. Berliner, Dean of the Frank G. Zarb School of Business; Christopher Caruso, Associate Dean of the Maurice A. Dean School of Law; Evan Kornog, Dean of the Lawrence Herbert School of Communication; Bernard J. Firestone, Hofstra College of Liberal Arts and Sciences and Library and Information Services; Warren Frisina, Honors College; Kathleen Gallo, Hofstra North Shore LIJ, School of Graduate Nursing and Physician Assistant Studies; Cliff Jernigan, Vice Provost and Dean of Graduate Studies; Sina Rabbani, Acting Dean, School of Engineering and Applied Science; Holly Syrup, Vice Dean, School of Health Professions and Human Services. Representing the University Senate, the Chair of the Senate Executive Committee, Eugene Macarone, and representing the faculty, Speaker of the Faculty, Stuart Bass. Representing the alumni of Hofstra University, Paul Flora, BS 68 of the Hofstra Alumni Organization. And of course, the person who leads our university, President Stuart Rabinowitz.
Thank you. Members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, administration, distinguished guests, but most importantly, members of the class of 2015 and their proud family and friends. It's my pleasure to welcome you to our mid-year commencement exercises. Now, contrary to the expectations of some of you, I will not try to use this occasion to reveal to you the secret of everlasting happiness. I would, especially after all the tuition you paid, I would if I could, but as much as I would like to do that, I have come to realize that the secret of happiness is different for each one of us, and that, in fact, nobody can tell us what our secret is. We must discover it, and we must discover our own path to fulfillment ourselves. As to giving you advice on other significant life issues that really matter, well, I will leave that task to our very well-qualified commencement speaker today. However, I do consider myself qualified to offer you some advice on what you might do tonight. My first suggestion is that immediately after this ceremony, you should go and hug and thank your parents, your spouses, your relatives, your friends who have helped you to reach this propitious day in your life. Nobody, but nobody gets here by themselves. Second, and perhaps a little selfishly, I suggest that you express your appreciation to the Hofstra faculty member, or hopefully members, who most inspired you while you were here, and to the administrators and the staff who may have made your journey here a bit easier. Our faculty, administration, and staff have made the education of young people their life calling. So for us, an expression of appreciation from a graduate is truly priceless. And finally, before you begin the next phase in your journey through life, take a night to celebrate. This is an appropriate time, in case you didn't know, for you to party. But responsibly. All right, party. Actually, this whole commencement ceremony is really a celebration. We are here to celebrate the accomplishments and the hard work of the graduates and the sacrifices that have been made on behalf of their family and their friends. And we also celebrate the many future exciting opportunities and options that all of that work and all of those sacrifices have afforded to the graduates. Today, graduates, you will acquire one of the rare assets in life, which will never, ever depreciate in value: your Hofstra degrees. Indeed, we are confident that those degrees will increase in value throughout your careers. And at the very least, our promise to you is that we will continue to do everything we possibly can, everything in our power, to enhance the stature and reputation of Hofstra University, and hence the value of your degrees. And so, my most important message to our graduates today is quite simple. You have earned our congratulations and our admiration. You have worked hard, you have learned well, and you are ready to make your mark on the world. We take Hofstra pride in your accomplishments, and so should you. So I close these very brief remarks today, as I have for the past 14 years as president of this great university, and that is simply by wishing you, our graduates, well. I wish each of you all the success in life that you think you need, and all that the work and ability earn for you. I wish you the perspective to forgive yourself and learn from your mistakes, because mistakes are inevitable. I wish you the tenacity, courage, and good fortune to someday find a life's work about which you feel passionate, rather than settling for one which neither challenges nor fulfills you. I wish you the very special sense of satisfaction and of self-worth that only comes from using at least some of your talent and energy to help others, especially those who are in need. I wish you the wisdom not to forego the love of family and friends in some relentless pursuit of material success. And lastly, I wish that you not become so preoccupied with achieving some cherished goal on some faraway day that somehow life passes you by, and that somehow you fail to appreciate each and every day of your life. The class of 2015 leaves here with our admiration and our affection. We enjoyed teaching you, and yes, we enjoyed learning from you. We hope that you will maintain your ties to your classmates and to your alma mater. From this day forward, your accomplishments will always be the most important driver of the reputation of the value of a Hofstra education. You will always be an important member of the Hofstra community, and the university will always welcome you home. On behalf of the faculty, the administration, and the staff, I extend to each one of you our heartiest congratulations and our warmest wishes for your success and your happiness. Thank you. It is now my pleasure and honor to ask that Trustee Janice Meyer come forward with her candidate for an honorary doctorate degree, the Honorable Kathleen Hochul.
Thank you, President Rabinowitz. I have to start by saying that I love it when I'm giving an honorary or presenting an honorary degree candidate who is a woman. Kathleen C. Hochul was inaugurated as the 77th Lieutenant Governor of the state of New York on January 1st, 2015. She's the state's first Democratic female Lieutenant Governor since 1978. Prior to her election, Lieutenant Governor Hochul was Group Vice President for Strategic Relationships at M&T Bank, serving as liaison for community matters and significant economic development projects. From 2011 to 2013, then Congresswoman Kathleen Hochul served in the U.S. House of Representatives from New York's 26th Congressional District. And prior to her time in Congress, she was the highest-ranking female elected official in Erie County while serving as county clerk from 2007 to 2011. The Lieutenant Governor also served for more than a decade as Hamburg Town Council member. Lieutenant Governor Hochul began her legal career at a large law firm in Washington, D.C., and later became in-house counsel to a major corporation engaged in homeland security. She then moved into public service, working as legal counsel and legislative assistant to Congressman John, I'm going to mispronounce this, LaFalce, and later to Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan. In 2006, Lieutenant Governor Hochul joined her mother and her aunt in establishing the Kathleen Mary House, a transitional home for victims of domestic violence, and served on its board of directors. She also co-founded the Village Action Coalition to help local businesses survive competition from big box stores. Lieutenant Governor Hochul has been generous with her time to Hofstra, for which we are grateful. She has visited campus several times to support various activities and initiatives, and she was the guest of honor at our distinguished lecture series in May 2015. Mr. President, for Kathleen Hochul's career in private industry, public service, and her record of achievement in government, it is my honor to present her to you as a candidate for the Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa.
Lieutenant Governor Hochul, it's a pleasure to welcome you back to Hofstra. In less than a year in office, you have achieved a tremendous amount, and you have addressed vitally important issues to the state of New York, such as women's equality, domestic violence, and the local economy and small businesses, to name just a few. We look forward to continuing to work with you throughout your term in Albany, and it is my privilege and my honor to bestow upon you the Doctor of Humane Letters degree, honoris causa. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much for this distinguished honor. I am absolutely thrilled to receive this, Mr. President, and thank Trustee Janice Meyer for recommending me to this honor. I also want to thank your president here, not just for what he has done as the leader of this institution, but you may or may not know that he also co-chairs the governor's Regional Economic Development Council. So when you see the now 12,000 retained or new jobs on Long Island and over $12 billion of new investment and reinvestment here in this island, you have someone from your own home college to thank for that, and that's Stuart Rabinowitz for his tremendous work on behalf of the state of New York. So let's give him a round of applause for all he does for our state. I also want to thank our Provost, Gail Simmons, and of course the faculty, the staff, the administrators, and certainly as a parent of a fairly recent graduates, moms and dads and guardians, you've done it. Let's take our hats off to you. You've accomplished something tremendous here in getting your children to the place they are today. Let's hear it for the moms and dads. There you go. You know, today you take your place among over 100,000 distinguished alumni. So I'm going to put this on your shoulders. I don't know if you've gone through the list of people who have gone before you, but it is impressive. Not the least of which is a former governor of the state of New York, David Patterson, a graduate from your law school, who at one time had been a lieutenant governor. But also you've had Pulitzer Prize winners. You also have people in the film and critical arts worlds. Francis Ford Coppola, how incredible he's affected the film industry. You also had a Miss America 2015 come right out of your school, a sharp woman with a political science degree. So you've done it all. But the question becomes today, where do you find your place among those ranks? And I'm going to introduce you perhaps to something you've never seen before. This is a book with actual pages in it, okay? I know in this digital age you don't see paper a lot, but I want to make sure you see this before it goes into a museum somewhere. But what's significant about this book is today this book represents your life, okay? See this? Blank pages. Now, up until now, there's been another book, and that's been co-written by the influence of your parents, your family, your friends, your professors, and others. But starting today, the second you walk out the door, you have the chance to write your own story in a book just like this. But I'm going to tell you something. We're going to do something real quick here. We're going to fast forward to the last page, because if this is the beginning of your life, This is the end. This is how it ends, folk. So it's kind of a downer on your graduation day, but nobody gets out of here alive, okay? Let's just get that out here, okay? So there is an end to this book. There is an end. But today we're going to talk about how you fill these pages, what your story is. Now, the good news is your education at Hofstra University has given you, anybody know what this is? This is called a pen. They've given you the pen, which is actually the tool you need to write a beautiful story. Okay, so you really have no excuses. You have your story to write and to tell. So what I want to talk about is how you're going to fill in the middle part. You can't control the first day, and you sure can't control the last day, but it's what's in the middle. And I'm going to throw out a couple bits of advice. I want to make sure that as you fill these pages with your story, that you take risks. Now, I'm not talking about the partying that the president just recommended you go out and do tonight. I mean, I never heard a president go tell me to go have a good time partying, but that's all right. I'm not talking about the risks that get you in trouble, okay? Let's get that out there right now. That's my disclaimer. I'm talking about the risks, where there's something you want to do that's so gutsy that people tell you, you know what? You might not want to do that because you might fail. Well, guess what, folks? There's a lot of people out there who wouldn't mind if you fail. It's a very competitive world out there. But there's also people who tell you not to pursue something because they love you and care about you and don't want to see you hurt. You got to put those aside as well, okay? Because you got to go big in this world. You got to take risks. You have to do something that you never thought you could do. And I have a little bit of a story in my own life, if I can bore you with this for 2 seconds. I was an elected official back in my hometown. I'm a Democrat. Let's get that right out here. There was the most Republican congressional seat in the state of New York came open. Unexpected election opening. I'm not going to give you the details. You can look it up on the internet why there was all of a sudden there was a vacancy. But something told me that if I didn't pursue this, I may never have the chance again. Now, I had people from my own party, I had family, I had friends that says, don't do it. It's a Republican district, you're a Democrat. You're running against people who are multimillionaires, you don't have a dime. You have no chance of winning this seat in Congress. And something just told me, you know what? You've got to be in it to win it. You've got to be able to just step up and say, I'm not afraid of failure. I'm afraid of saying I didn't try. So I tried. I overcame the odds, and it became a national news story, my election in the most Republican district in the state of New York. And I was proud to serve. I love serving in Congress. But sometimes with risks comes failure. 18 months later, I lost my seat in Congress. Okay? All right. I was still glad I had those 18 months there. It was an honor to serve, and I'll never have that taken away from me. And I thought I was done. I went to the private sector. I'm a lawyer. I'd worked on Capitol Hill. I'd done a lot of things. I thought, I'll try the private sector. I thought my public service was over. And it was hard for me because I always grew up believing that public service is a noble calling, that we need people who truly care about people beyond themselves. In fact, Senator Paul Wellstone once said, politics is not about power and it's not about money. It's about the betterment of people's lives. And so I wanted to pursue it, but it was taken away. A year later, I get a call, but I come down and talk to the governor and talk about running for lieutenant governor. Never thought it would happen, never dreamed it could happen, but here I am today with the highest honor of my life to represent all of you in Albany. So please look at that as a snapshot of what can happen to you if you're willing to ignore people who tell you you can't do it. Put that aside because someone could be standing in front of the dreams and your aspirations and truly your destiny, which you are called to do while you're on this earth. Don't let that happen to you. Be gutsy, think of others, and do it. I also want to leave you with another thought. David Brock once gave a tremendous TED Talk. I listen to TED Talks all the time. I hope you do as well. He talked about the difference between resume values and eulogy values. Okay? Eulogy is what they're going to talk about you at your funeral. Okay? But we spend most of our time in life preparing for the resume values. Now, that's a good thing. You just heard the Reverend say she prayed that you'd get employment. We all want you to have employment, right, moms and dads? Don't want them back home on the couches. We want you out there working. That's tremendous. But as much as we put energy and focus on those resume values, I want you to also stop as you write the pages of your story and say, what are they going to say about me when I'm gone? Those are the eulogy values. Those are the eulogy virtues that you need to be thinking about right now, because your story has started. So let's think about those. I would tell you, you want to be known as someone who gave their love freely, someone who showed appreciation and gratitude for others. As you heard the president say, not just to thank your parents, but everybody up here who had an influence on the person you are today. Show gratitude. Don't take other people for granted. Also be aware that you have so much to give. Those of you who are getting your undergraduate degree, only a third of adults in this nation have that. Those of you getting your graduate degree, even a smaller number. You've been given a gift. And shame on you if you don't use that gift, not to just take care of yourself, but to better humankind. Do you know that's part of the mission statement of Hofstra University? You all read the mission statement? Okay. Some of you are saying yes, some of you are saying no. Okay, go home and read the mission statement, because it says that you need to use your skills, your talents for the betterment of humankind. How are you going to do that? What form does it take? There's 1,000 different ways that you can better humankind. I don't care if you stop at one of the Long Island homeless shelters that I visited, or you go to a domestic violence center and give your time and help someone who needs you. Go to a veterans center and say, I'm going to help you because you served our country. You're going to talk to little kids, particularly around this holiday time, and gather gifts and toys for them. There are countless ways that you can make a difference. But I'm going to say shame on you if you don't try, because we are put on this earth to leave it better than we found it. It's that simple. It's that simple. And you have no excuses not to participate in an extremely powerful and meaningful way, because Hofstra University has helped you emerge in the kind of adults you are today, walking out of here with a first-class education and truly the ability to serve others with these skills you've received here. So that's my story, folks. I'm putting it on you. You are the graduates, you are the future, and I want to tell you one more thing. You are so lucky to be part of the class of 2015, because this state of New York, and I know 2/3 of you are New Yorkers, half of you from Long Island. This state has been transformed just in the few years you've been sitting in this institution. There have been 750,000 new jobs in the state of New York since people started college 4 years ago. There are new opportunities on Long Island like never before. There's jobs out there that were not even thought of when you first became a freshman. You are poised to take advantage of this economic recovery, resurgence, renaissance. It's going on right here. Take your place, ladies and gentlemen. Take your place. We are waiting for you with bated breath. Finish your story and make it a masterpiece. Congratulations to all the graduates.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Hochul. Now I have the privilege to welcome the senior senator from the state of New York and a great friend of Hofstra University, the Honorable Chuck Schumer.
Thank you, everybody. And it is my honor to address the members of the podium, the friends and families of the graduates, but most of all, you, the class of 2015 Hofstra, congratulations to each and every one of you. You're graduating from one of the great institutions of higher learning, not just on Long Island, not just in New York, but in our whole country. So that gives you a good leg up. Now, first, I'd like to announce my class gift. As you know, it's hard to pay for college and graduate school these days. If you're poor, the federal government helps you out. That's a good thing, but what about the middle class? So a few years ago, I wrote a law that said that you or your parents, who's ever paying for college, could take off their federal taxes a full $2,500 for each year of college or graduate school, provided your family income is below $200,000 a year. So, for those of you who come from families who make below $200,000, make sure you or mom or dad takes that tax credit. Last year, a quarter of all people who were eligible didn't. And if you forgot to do it the last few years of college or graduate school, you can actually file a form with the IRS and get up to $7,500 back. Not too bad a class gift. Now, what happens if you come from a family that makes above $200,000 a year? God bless you. And by the way, in the new budget bill that was just passed, we used to have to renew this every couple of years. It was made permanent, so your children will be able to take it, and hopefully the amount will be higher than that then. Second, I'd like to say a word to the moms and dads. I know how you feel. A few short years ago, my wife Iris and I sat where you did and watched our daughter Jessica come up and get her diploma. It was one of the greatest moments of our lives, and if you're like us, you probably think back to the tough times. We remembered when Jessica was just about 6 months old and we had to rush her to the hospital. She had 106.5 fever. We thought she wouldn't make it. Praise God, she did. We thought back to the first time we put her on the kindergarten bus at age 5. And as the bus pulled away, she ran to the back of the bus, tears streaming down her little cheeks, and waved goodbye. But when Iris met her as the bus returned to 2 o'clock, she bounded off the bus happy as could be. She said, "Mommy, I came back." When we talked to her, we realized what was going on in that little 5-year-old mind. She thought she'd never see us again. New family, new neighborhood, new friends. Then we remembered Jessica at 15, when she was a teenager. She didn't say much to us. And when she did, we didn't understand a word she said. And then moms, dads, you see your daughters and sons come up and get that diploma and become an adult before your very eyes. Congratulations to the moms and dads. Job well done. And one more thought. As we're here, there are young men and young women, many from Long Island, many from New York State. And they are overseas. They're our soldiers in Iran, in Iraq, and Afghanistan, risking their lives for our freedom and our way of life. Let's have a round of applause for them as we're celebrating today. Now, to this great class of 2015. As I said, you're graduating with some major advantages. One is the education you've received here at Hofstra, one of the best educations you can receive. Second, you are the first generation to grow up amidst all this new technology. In 1988, a few years before most of you were born, that was the first time the word internet ever appeared in print. There was no Google and no Facebook and no text messaging and no email and no LOL. In 1994, maybe some of you were born in that year, there were just 13 websites on the World Wide Web. That's it, 13. Now there are 15 billion, and that shows you how quickly technology is changing our lives. But you know, your parents, your teachers, me, the older generation, we try to get with it with this technology, but it's hard for us. We're learning it as adults. But you were born into it. Technology is to your generation as water is to a fish. You've been swimming in it your whole lives. And so the fact that you have graduated from a great school like Hofstra, and the fact that you're the first generation to become fully conversant, instinctively, with this new technology means one thing. Now is the time, if there ever was one, to figure out what your dream is. Reach high for it. See if you can achieve it. Reach deep down inside yourself. See what you're made of. See if you have it to get to that dream. My advice to the class of 2015 is very, very simple. Go for it. Now, sometimes you'll make the wrong choice, But if my experience is any indication, you'll pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move forward. But if you make the right choice, with a lot of hard work, a little luck, and some prayer, your life will be enriched forever. Now, I learned these lessons myself when I was seated at college graduation a while back, as many of you are seated here today. I learned that I had won a scholarship to travel all around the world, all expenses paid, for a whole year. For me, it was an opportunity of a lifetime. I had never been out of the country before. But at the same time, I had met a girl, and I fell in love. Aww. So I had to decide. Do I go around the world on the all-expense-paid scholarship for a whole year? Or do I stay home with the girl? Class of 2015, what would you do? Well, Mr. President, the class is divided. I stayed home with the girl. Yeah, don't clap now, you romantics. The story unfolds. That summer, she went on a brief vacation, and I went to the airport to meet her on her return. As soon as she got off the plane, I saw by the look on her face something was the matter. She dumped me by Labor Day. There I was, no scholarship, no trip around the world, no girl. I said to myself, what a loser you are. You're never gonna make anything of yourself. And in fact, I stayed in my house for several months, moped around, felt sorry for myself. But somehow, I picked myself up, dusted myself off, and moved forward. And a few years later, I found myself seated at graduation once again, this time from law school. But on the way home from law school, I told Mom and Dad I wasn't going to join that fancy law firm like we had planned. I told them I loved politics. My dream was to run for office. And even though the chances were remote, that's what I wanted to do. Well, my parents were shocked. My mother was particularly disappointed. You see, I came from a family that struggled to send their son to college and to law school. The law firm was paying $400 a week, more money than my family had ever seen. But my dream was to run for office, and so that November, I ran for the New York State Assembly against very long odds, and I had 3 opponents. There was the party machine candidate, there was a neighborhood activist, and then there was my mother, who was telling all her friends not to vote for me. So as she said, I get this dumb idea of being a politician out of my big, thick head. Well, graduates, a few years earlier, I didn't get that girl, but that November, I won the election. So, to this great class of 2015, go for it. And because you've received a great education at Hofstra, because you have families that will stick behind you through thick and thin, and because you're the first generation to have graduated amidst all this technology, it is my hope, and it is my prayer, and it is my confidence that you will achieve your dreams as well. Congratulations to this great class of 2015. And don't forget, go for it.
Thank you, Senator Schumer. And now, will the candidates for the Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science in Education, and Bachelor of Engineering degrees please stand? Mr. President, I have the honor to present those candidates from the Frank G. Zarb School of Business, the Lawrence Herbert School of Communication, the the School of Education, the School of Engineering and Applied Science, the School of Health Professions and Human Services, and the Hofstra College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, who have completed all the requirements for the bachelor's degree. I join with the faculty and the deans of our schools and colleges in recommending that you confer the appropriate degree upon these candidates.
Graduates, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of Hofstra University and the Regents of the State of New York, and upon the recommendations of your deans and faculty, I am proud to confer upon you one of the following degrees as appropriate: Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science in Education, or Bachelor of Engineering. Congratulations to each and every one of you.
Will the graduates please step forward to be recognized? Your names will be read by Zarb School of Business Associate Dean Joya P. Bales, Hofstra College of Liberal Arts and Sciences Senior Associate Dean Stephen R. Costanoble, and Lawrence Herbert School of Communication Senior Associate Dean Mark E. Oppenheim.
Graduates of Hofstra College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Justin Berlin. Mark Nucio. Amanda Morgan. Amanda Basia. Kyle Brown. Andy Lynn Walters. David Strack. Hannah Hahn. Samira Bukhari. Victoria Galante. Nicholas Apria. Aurora Dearling. Michael Mirabito. Alexis Wiley. Melanie DeJesu. Christopher Panos. Lisa Sagastano. Brianna Harper. Jared Sarka. Dominic Pesci. Christy Hulas. Marquise Sanders. Alexander Presor. Everett Johnson. Samuel Ostler. Christopher Henze. Stephanie Zuccaro. Colin Adams. Shannon Dixon. Dominika Kupraszewska. Taylor Mallory. Aubrey Volmuth. Virginia Motier. Anthony Pelicano. Joy Rumack. Natalie Naftel. Abby Nyman. Yan Zhao. Asia Neal. Shiana Hargraves. Bisan Abdullah. Catherine Kosminski. Kira McDonald. Larissa Singh. Anthony Ribka. J.C. Garden. Francesca Caffarella. Anthony Farina. Eric Giglio. Matthew Emilialo. Solomon Son.
Nina Punus. Shelby Cabin. Michelle Allaire. Ricky Michaels, Rebecca Colmer, Marissa Lynch, Aram Zia, Nicole Oliver, Amelia Comodoris, Caitlin Curran, Danielle Corbisiero, Joseph Scaduto, Joseph Sacklow, Lauren Mandela, Elise Rooney, Robert Griggs, Adam Questel, Eric Garfinkel, Zachary Bourbano, Tyler Beloin, Alexander McGeough, Haley Nicolino, Bhavneet Unand, Jennifer Pegg, Kirk McDavid, Samantha Schwartz, Jaffer Shah, Jamel Hudson, McQuayon Mills, Willie Coleman, Alec Ferrara, Patrick Diaz, Christina Floridia, Claire Weaver, Mehnaz Hassan, Khan Oskayer, Marcus Satonia, Salvatore Noto, Juan Izquierdo, Danielle Hunter, Mary Gusis, Emily Considine, graduates of the School of Education. Anthony Jukic, Antonio Jose Rogers, Basia Leon, Abigail Maria, Tiara Price, Francis Will, Christy McLarney,
Joseph Zott, Rachel Friedman, Brittany Sinopoli, Brittany Gayer, Jill Lowenfels, Samantha DeAngelis, Nicole Poppy, Allison Schwartzman, Anastasia Rabos, Jacqueline Bradley, Janina Pereira, Alexandra Ross, Catherine Manette, graduates of the Frank G. Zarb School of Business, Patrick Shurius, Juliana Hoyas, Lawrence Salvo, Elena Levinson, Tony Picarillo, Stephen Gonzalez, Ahmed Judah, Christopher Bagshaw, Marius Flatebow, Felix Schaefer, Patrick Prey, Justin Fardella, Amanda Madwio, Nina Raziello, Joan McCarthy, Catherine Mullen, Nicole Stone, Garrett Weiss, Daniel Brick, Ross Horowitz, Zachary Jaffe, Luke Fisher, Adam Savian, Emmett Krause, Andrew Day, Michelle Daniel, Vienna Swearcheck, Chelsea Mackey,
Christopher Bonk, Kayla Martin, Jonathan Wallman, Rain Palmer, Dimitri Cleveland, Keaton Jerome Booker, Christopher Juarez, Nikita Sigalaskis, Krishna Dave, Connor Riker. Ryan Sunderland. Alexander Hinners. Tara Scuderi. Ashley Cotell. Liliana Espinal. Matthew Venzenzia. Gary Gibson. Ashley Peabody. Hamad Imran. Michael Olson. Christopher Hilla. Marina Mantakasis. Michael Baresi. James DeBlaze. Samantha Sabroki. Jian Sung. Nolan Whitehead. Alexis Wagman. Michael Napolitano. Jared Gordon. Ian Schoenfeld. Victor Parbat. Hei-Boom Yang. Lin Zhao. Graduates of the Lawrence Herbert School of Communication. Blaine Herbert. Kayla Marzo. Megan Azralon. Lindsay Spurgell. Sophia Casimir. Daniel Kelleher. Eric Zimmer. Jessica Covington. Elena Napolitana. Sean Williams. Corinne McBrien. Mark Barry. Ethan McGee. David Yurman. David Pepe. Artie Among.
Alexandra Weinstein. Jenna Delio. Megan Wombold. Stephen Jelinek. Jing Zhang. Eric Dame. Alessandra Lopez. Ariana Keenan. Darnell Lee. Ashley Munjaguera. Shanania Alamar. Jessica Prudente. Aaron Condiff. Graduates of the School of Engineering and Applied Science. Brian Blanco. Ryan McPartlin. Sumer Hassan. Todd Pagello. Rezwan Ahmed. Jacob Roy Tharakan. David Geralnik. Christopher Hahn. Lucas Smith. Tyler Levertu. Stephen Maddy. David Mecca. Gregory Stolte. Wei Dong. Taswif Raman. Tarquin Ratoti. Siobhan Gibbons. David Peters. Brian Mateer. Malika Hall. Graduates of the School of Health Professions and Human Services. Sarah Hollins. Athena Chen. Brian McDonald. Matthew Grossman. Robert Ackley. Brian Macarius. Michael Carnisis. Jonathan Casanova. Joseph Calabresi. Lindsay Gazzo. Gabrielle Sano. Victoria Cabral. Manpreet Kaur. Justin Kurian. Dayanara Lopez. Vicky Lucent, Ida Nelson, Deandra Smith,
Dominique Antoine, Jill Asin, Sarah Garcia, Nicole Netkin, Juliana Forch, Robert Wisniewski, Lauren Katz, Kavin Curran, Shahrazad Jamarali. Congratulations, graduates.
Mr. President, members of the Board of Trustees, administrators, faculty, graduates, and guests, Hofstra University is proud of all of its graduates and would like to single out the honors students who are graduating in today's ceremony. We take this time to recognize 4 groups of honors students who have distinguished themselves during their undergraduate careers at Hofstra. The first group have achieved honors in their respective majors. Would students receiving honors in majors please stand to be recognized? Thank you. The second group of honors students are those receiving bachelor's degrees with distinction. They may be identified by the blue and gold scapular worn over their graduation gowns. They have graduated with a distinguished overall GPA of 3.6 for cum laude, 3.8 for magna cum laude, and 3.9 for summa cum laude. Will the students receiving bachelor's degrees with distinction please stand to be recognized? The third group of honors students are Hofstra University Honors College graduates. They may be identified by the HUHC medal and the gold scapular. Will Honors College associates, graduates, and Honors College graduates with distinction please stand to be recognized? Congratulations. Finally, we would like to acknowledge those students receiving graduate degrees who are graduating with honors. These students have a minimum grade point average of 3.75. Will those students who are about to receive graduate degrees with distinction please stand to be recognized? Congratulations to all of our honors degree recipients. And now, will the candidates for the Master of Science, Master of Arts, Master of Science in Education, Master of Health Administration, Master of Business Administration, Master of Fine Arts, and Master of Public Health degrees and advanced certificate please stand? Mr. President, I have the honor to present those candidates from the Frank G. Zarb School of Business, the Lawrence Herbert School of Communication, the School of Education, the School of Engineering and Applied Science, the School of Health Professions and Human Services, the Hofstra College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, and the Hofstra North Shore LIJ School of Graduate Nursing and Physician Assistant Studies, who have completed all the requirements for the master's degree and advanced certificate. I join with the faculty and the deans of our schools and colleges in recommending that you confer the appropriate degree upon these candidates.
Graduates, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of Hofstra University and the regents of the state of New York, and upon the recommendation of your deans and your faculties, I am pleased and proud to confer upon you one of the following degrees as appropriate: Master of Science, Master of Arts, Master of Science in Education, Master of Health Administration, Master of, we have too many master degrees here. Master of Business Administration, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Public Health, or an advanced certificate. Congratulations to you all.
Will the graduates please step forward to be recognized? Your names will be read by Zarb School of Business Senior Assistant Dean Bryant Caligiuri, Hofstra College of Liberal Arts and Sciences Senior Associate Dean Stephen R. Costanoble, Lawrence Herbert School of Communications Senior Associate Dean Mark E. Oppenheim.
Graduates of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Brianna Valverde de Partolo. Amanda Lynch. Elena DeMarsco. Rogers Lisa. Graduates of the School of Education. El Polo Escoro. Jessica Prestafilippio. Matthew Wu. Christopher Shimenti. Wenjia Wan. Gardenia Benros. Lu Wang. Donghua Han. Hannah Wagner. Stacy Berkowitz. Jennifer Joyce. Cassandra Marzan. Mohammed Abdil Latif. Danielle Sansone. Jeffrey Stone. Leslie McBride. Sadia Chowdhury. Stacy Modafferi. Jacqueline Kuhn. Nicole Roleri. Shriparna Ganguly. Alexandra Hand. Daniela Visegli. Lori Rupp. Katie Mishkin. Lauren Burkheit. Christina Delaney. Nicole King. Wesley Wesenholz. Heather Olson. Mary Scarpa. Courtney Sear. Nicole Torado. Charlotte Felter. Christian Dotton. Valerie Krause. Erica Mallory. Sergio Alarcon. Janet Simone. Paulina Vastardis. Ricky Cohen. Rhonda Porter. Taylor Stefek. Christina Gall. Shannon O'Malley. Lindsay Brooks. Caroline McCarthy.
Christina Davis. Audra Rizzo. Michelle Dello Yacano. Michael DeVolo. Kathleen Kimmins. Jodian Laird. Maggie Feta. Gregory Sundall. Erica Patricio. Gina Sablick. Echeneria Romero. Lana Long Louise. Vito Ubaldini. Mishexa Belizaire. Ashley Wilcox. Abigail Punette. Graduates of the Frank G. Zarb School of Business. Zhang Wang. Kong Wang. Jeff Oakes. Kejing Wang. Jingjing Wang, Kai-Ching Wang, Lincoln Tong Wang, Yundi Gao, Nyansi Wang, Yunong Wang, Yuchan Zhai, Li Jun He, Michael O'Hara, Liang Zhu, Jingyu Du, Yangfang Yang, Jiabing Liu, Haoxiang Li, Isabel Barada, Stephen Persaud, Anam Hassan, Alexander Tamilio, Justin Black, Patrick Pazzaretti, Timothy Murphy, Vladimir Volel, Olenrawaju Esan, Fai Meng Dong, Rui Wei, Dan Huang, Qian Jin, Nampeng Jie, Xiaomin Wang, Jian Liu, Hanxi Zhao, Jincheng Wang,
Yihui Ren, Richard Acevedo, Qingling Tian, Ru Jia, Yihuan Chu, Shihang Wang, Haoxin An, Ru Chen, Xishan Huang, Rundag Ma, Nan Wang, Qing Li, Yuandi Zhang, Benang Li, Qin Yu Hu, Yufei Zhao, Zhan Zhang, Jin Chang Sun, Shen Gang, Wenbo Bai, Jin Sun, Jiki Guo, Wang Qi Feng, Li Shu, Wen Xiao Cao, Meng Li, Siping Q, Fan Feng, Wen Xiao Gao, Meng Lu, Jiaren Wang, Robert Reifert, Qingyi Shen, Nei Chao Li, Jocelyn MacArthur, Justin Healy, Stephanie Chin, Monica Jung, Yu Huang, Russell Linder, Alexa Corwin, Kelly Devanzo, Ian Alpert, Nikki Wang, Shafak Ilyas, Ying Wei, Jia Zhu, Junshu Gang, Bingqing Shi, Ran Lu, Zibin Chen, Jiayang Chen,
Ling Yan Ku, Ji Lu, Shan Lu, Jian Lu, Rihua Ma, Alex Hu, graduates of the Lawrence Herbert School of Communication. Martine Pierre, Nathan Weiser, Samantha McManus, Olga Varanaskaya, Ru Li, Lachelle Prophet, Yana Coleman, Mi Wang, graduates of the School of Engineering and Applied Science, Benjamin Rood, Howard Cass, Li Zhang, Saranaya Paravali, Subluskami Subramaniam, graduates of the School of Health Professions and Human Services, Ojaya Russell, Meredith Burchuk, Nicholas Churaman, Victoria Miller, Danielle Leenick, Sonia Karhana, Caroline Lardren, Carly Fagerstrom, Stacy Shanfield, Ashley Havel, Janine Pessa, Meredith Muller, Danny Tay, Heinmar Kin, Anika Farak, Shafiq Imam, Christy Kinsella, Sahana Beckford, Natalie Vasquez, Marissa Bazinski, Krista McDonald, Michelle Runco, Lindsay Orsi, Eugenia Boya Kojo, Abdul Qadri, Deborah Chunsky, Belinda Oliver, Jody Ann McLagan, Zen Dong, Mikro Joseph, Pamela Smith, Isma Chowdhury, Jessica Monteblano, Elizabeth Lang,
Don Junta Carr, Anne-Marie Wittenhagen, Linda Maniscalco, Crystal Lee, Myelin Mascari, Jeffrey Donato, Stephen Pervin, Rebecca Korenstein, Karen Wong, Vicky Karamuzis, Stephanie Van Schaik, Ashley Whalen, Kelly Volmer, Megan Maraldi, Kami Zachowski, Amanda Hosevar, James Prendergast, Robbie Plotkin, Christopher Kelly, Steve Efkarpidis, William Hankey, Rodnell Hanvier, Chandler Yiyao Zhang, Jesse Liang, Sarah Azizi, graduates of the Hofstra North Shore LIJ School of Graduate Nursing and Physician Assistant Studies, Erica Johnson, Rachel O'Mara, Ashley Kaczynski, Julie Grassi, Dana Montalbano, Caroline Babsanik, Kelly Madden, Christine Barbacchia, Sifikor Adejaja, Teresa Girassi, James Solomon, Catherine Marquez. Congratulations to all the graduates.
And now to present degrees from the Maurice A. Dean School of Law, Christopher Caruso, Associate Dean for Career Services, who will be assisted by Kevin McElroy, Associate Professor of Legal Writing.
Will the candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor and JD MBA please rise? Mr. President, I have the honor to present those students of the Maurice A. Dean School of Law at Hofstra University who have satisfied all the requirements for the degree of Juris Doctor and JD MBA. Upon the recommendation of the faculty, I ask that you confer the degrees upon these candidates.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of Hofstra and by the Regents of the State of New York, and upon the recommendation of the Dean and the faculty of the School of Law, I'm delighted to confer upon you the degree of Juris Doctor or JD MBA as appropriate. Congratulations to every one of you.
We ask that each of the graduates come to the stage to be introduced by me and then hooded by Kevin McElroy, Associate Professor of Legal Writing, and to be recognized by Trustee Meyer and President Rubinowitz. DJ Diliberto. Michael Cusi. Thanber Ahmed. Congratulations. Hey, Michael, how are you? Michael Engel, JD MBA. Congratulations. Justin Grunfeld. Joe Cohen. Dina Quanda Mateo. Sarah Nigro. Well, we have to announce the degree. What's that? He's doing the master's before. We have to announce it. Will the candidate for the degree of Master of Law please rise? He's standing right here.
I think he's risen.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present the student of the Maurice A. Dean School of Law at Hofstra University who has satisfied all the requirements for the degree of Master of Law. Upon the recommendation of the faculty, I ask that you confer the degree upon this candidate.
Graduate, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of Hofstra and by the Regents of the State of New York, and upon the recommendation of the Dean and faculty of the School of Law, I'm delighted to confer upon you the degree Master of Laws. Congratulations.
Good News Mora. Congratulations to the graduates of the class of 2015.
And now we move to present candidates for doctoral degrees. First, for the School of Education, Dean Bernard J. Firestone will present on behalf of Dean Sean Finelli and will be assisted by Senior Associate Dean Karen J. Spencer.
Will the School of Education candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy or Doctor of Education please stand? Mr. President, I have the honor now to present to you those students who have satisfied all the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy or Doctor of Education in the School of Education, and I am pleased to join with the faculty in recommending that you confer the degrees Doctor of Philosophy or Doctor of Education as appropriate upon these candidates.
By virtue of the authority, it's the same speech, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of Hofstra and by the Regents of the State of New York, and upon the recommendation of the Dean and the faculty of the School of Education, I'm absolutely delighted to confer upon you the degree Doctor of Education or Doctor of Philosophy as appropriate. Every congratulations to you.
I'd like to ask Dr. Bruce Torf, Director of the Doctor of Education Program in Learning and Teaching, Dr. Danny Taylor, Professor Emerit of Literacy Studies, Dr. Andrea Garcia, Associate Professor of Literacy Studies, and Dr. Sage Rose, Associate Professor of Counseling and Mental Health Professions, to assist in the hooding of our doctoral degree recipients.
Dr. Jean Incantalupo. Dr. Gervais Jordan. Dr. Doreen Freiling. Dr. Suzanne Ankner. Dr. Carol McGill. Congratulations, doctors.
Will the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences candidates for the degrees Doctor of Philosophy or Doctor of Psychology please stand? Mr. President, I have the honor now to present to you those students who have satisfied all the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy or Doctor of Psychology in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, and I am pleased to join with the faculty in recommending that you confer the degrees Doctor of Philosophy or Doctor of Psychology as appropriate upon these candidates.
Graduates, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of Hofstra and by the regents of the state of New York, and upon the recommendation of the dean and faculty of the Hofstra College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, I am proud to confer upon you the degrees Doctor of Philosophy or Doctor of Psychology as appropriate. Every congratulations to you.
Will the candidates please come forward to be introduced by Senior Associate Dean Dr. Stavros Valenti. I'd like to ask Dr. William Sanderson of the PhD program in Clinical Psychology, Dr. Robert Mott of the PsyD in School Community Psychology, and Drs. Kamala Shahani Danning, Mara Mills, and Song Liu of the PhD program in Applied Organizational Psychology to assist in the hooding of our doctoral degree recipients.
Dr. Nicholas Kremarko. Dr. Michelle Gonin. Dr. Jennifer Wilson. Dr. Jonathan Reinhardt. Dr. Amber Ufford. Dr. Kristen Wyatt. Dr. Alyssa Payne. Dr. Janine Souls. Dr. Jacqueline Jason. Dr. Benjamin Ellman. Dr. Christopher Salute. Dr. Keisha Phillips Kong. Dr. Julie Zide. Dr. Noel S. Sabahi. Dr. Rosa Yankovic. Dr. Daphne Gordon. Dr. Zenora S. Ali. Dr. Maria Pencheva Burns. Dr. Sheree Harris. Dr. Danielle Aruzzi. Dr. Shannon Gutchess. Dr. Rachel Feintuck Zucker. Dr. Laura DeGennaro. Dr. Nicole Rohde. Dr. Anna Varfolomeeva. Dr. Alyssa Manti. Congratulations to the doctors.
You know, you've been a really great audience, but can I hear one rousing hand of applause for every single graduate today?
We have one small but significant piece of business for all of the baccalaureate degree recipients. To make your commencement complete, I ask you to move your tassel from right to left to signify the end of this stage of your academic pursuits. Congratulations, class of 2015. We have reached the conclusion of this ceremony. Following the recessional, there will be a reception for graduates, guests, faculty, and members of the platform party at the David S. Mack Physical Education Center on the North Campus. I ask our guests to please remain in your seats until the academic procession has withdrawn from the platform. Thank you and congratulations. Excuse me. Excuse me. I apologize. We have one final award. I know, you can all kill me later. I'd like to present Vice Provost Cliff Jernigan.
Thank you, Provost Simmons. The H. Allen Robinson Outstanding Doctoral Dissertation Award was established 29 years ago and continues to be awarded annually due to the generosity of the late Professor Emeritus of Reading, Dr. H. Allen Robinson. Dr. Robinson, a nationally recognized authority in reading, was a former chair of the Hofstra University Department of Reading and a former dean in the School of Education. The purpose of this award is to encourage and honor a doctoral candidate who has submitted an outstanding dissertation worthy of scholarly and professional recognition. I am pleased to present this year's recipient, Justin O'Neill, who received his PhD for his dissertation entitled The Perceived Importance of Person-Environment Fit Dimension Amidst Attraction and Attrition Stages of Employment. Yes, congratulations to Justin on a job well done. Please come forward to be recognized by President Rubinowitz and Provost Simmons.
We seem to have had a premature ending to commencement, but I will end commencement. So when I finish with this, we all will go home. Now, the good news is I don't have any remarks. It's listed in the program, but I do want you to join us as a last act in something that's become traditional here. So I would ask the platform party to rise and all the students to rise, but not the audience, just the students, the graduates. So we know, as we've said many times during this ceremony, that nobody got here all alone, and in the stands are people who love the graduates, have supported the graduates, and want to congratulate the graduates. Graduates, I think you should congratulate them. So we want to join you on the platform party. Turn around, pick out your loved ones in the audience, give them a big hand.
Please remain until the platform party leaves the stage. Thank you all. See you in the Mack Center.
Thank you.